Dubious ones, welcome back to the channel for some more Ultra Pro Wrestling. This is part 3 of the massive June update that was dropped on us by the good folks over at Hyper Focus Games. We're talking some big news in Ultra Pro Wrestling. Today we are covering the AKI/AKI Acquisition. We're talking music and sound design, as well as gameplay, testing, and feedback. Make sure you're always checking the descriptions down below so you can check out part 1 and 2 to this video, as well as all my other Ultra Pro Wrestling content, and as well as links to Ultra Pro Wrestling, their Patreons, and every way to support them and all their team is in the description down below. I'll also leave some timestamps for you guys to follow along in the video. But without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? And as always, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button because it makes a world of difference to me. Hit the like, and most importantly, I want to know your feedback. So leave it in the comments down below. Hyper Focus Games owns the AKI brand, AKI, whatever you want to consider it. But Hyper Focus Games, in one of the most significant behind-the-scenes developments, Hyper Focus Games has officially acquired the rights for the AKI brand name and logo. This isn't just a nostalgic nod, it's a foundational shift for UPW and its community. By securing AKI outright, we've gained creative freedom. We can fully embrace and evolve the mechanics pioneered in the titles like WWF No Mercy, WCW NWO Revenge, and Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 without tiptoeing around legal constraints. Community clarity. For fans and modders who've kept these games alive for decades, there's no longer a gray area. The legacy of AKI belongs to the players again. A bridge between generations. We now have the tools and the brand alignment to carry forward the soul of those games, reinterpreted with modern design, new characters, dynamic physics, and deeper customization. Acquiring AKI wasn't just a smart business move. It was a statement of intent. We're not just paying tribute to the classics. We're continuing the story, building a future that respects the past while carving its own path forward. Now we're getting to music and sound design. Music is often overlooked in wrestling games, but we see it as essential to the immersion. For each legend, we're not just assigning background music, we're building a custom audio identity that captures their aura, history, and in-ring personality. Composer Steven Dewar has been at the core of this effort. Over the past year, he's produced dozens of original themes, each tailored to a specific era, vibe, or individual. Here are a few highlights. Fear Will Grow and Ride the Snake were crafted for Jake the Snake Roberts. These aren't generic sinister tracks. They're layered compositions meant to reflect Jake's psychological complexity and quiet menace. Don't Sleep replaces the Sandman's iconic ECW entrance song with something that's just as chaotic, raw, and persuasive, and unpredictable. It matches the spirit of the character without falling back on licensed music. Yeah, you knew they were not getting Enter Sandman for this game, but I'm sure they recreated a fantastic track for the Sandman. That's really cool, and we've got some shots of UPW Monday Riot, different variations. We've got the red and the blue themed for the old school. What were those arenas called? Like the old school Raws that they had way back in the 93 era, 94, 95, like right as Raw debuted, and they had the ICO Pro and everything, as you can see, the Insocure and stuff like that. I think they did a really great job recreating the old school vibe with those old Raw arenas. We've also produced themes for in-game events and promotions like the late night energy of Monday Night Riot 2003 or the vibrant bombast of SummerSlam style Supercard. Now, if they're talking about Monday Night Riot, it says 2003 here, but which very well they could be talking about the later styles of Raw, or they could be talking about 93 here. That might have been typo, but could easily be the 2003 as well. I'm sure that, because again, we're going to be going through eras in this game, through the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, all that fun stuff. So Steven has shared multiple behind-the-scenes videos showing his process, breaking down everything from chord progressions to instrument selection. These aren't throwaway tracks. They're essential parts of the game's identity. Now, gameplay testing and feedback. We've been working closely with our good friend and AKI expert, Melonbread, who's been helping us test early builds and provide feedback. He's identified some issues, such as spirit meter not adjusting correctly and a few subtle movement bugs, which are already on our radar. These are kinds of details that naturally surface in ongoing development. The plan is to continue providing him with updated builds so we can refine gameplay iteratively. That said, gameplay is still in active development, and that's part of why it's taking time. We're aiming for polish, not just proof of concept. So remember, guys, when this game gets delayed, and it's been pushed back a little bit, so hopefully it will be releasing in 2025. That is the goal. Nothing has changed in that regard as far as I've heard. But if it does or anything, just understand that they're trying to hit the ground running, as they're only going to get one chance at a first impression for this game. So they really need to hit it out of the park, regardless if people think, oh, well, people aren't going to be interested anymore and blah, 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 this, that, the other. Trust me, a few months after a release of a WWE game, players are complaining, players fall off, players are hungry for something more. So if they're able to land a release sometime, I would say at least 3 months prior to the next 2K release, and at least maybe say 3 months after the last one, somewhere in that kind of window, I think they'll be in a perfect place where players are kind of done with the last iteration of 2K for the most part and kind of looking for something new. And this isn't going to be a game that's going to have an annual release and be like, constantly getting UPW 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to be getting free DLC for updates of this game, where you're getting new match types, new creation parts, new career mode like story, and that stuff's all going to be free. As far as paid DLC, we know it's for licensed wrestlers, licensed promotions, that sort of thing. So very, very cool that we're going to be getting huge updates to this game for years to come. Just kind of like Fire Pro Wrestling World, how that game kind of evolved over time, where it initially came out in early access, and then I think it released in 2017. And it's just over the years that they added things like GM mode. They added create a move, so you could create any move, not just a finisher, but create any move you wanted in the game. Just things like that got released over years. That's kind of more how I envision how Ultra Pro Wrestling is going to be. Is you're going to be getting content released for this game for years to come. So now, while they've considered showing early footage, we're trying to avoid putting out material that might be misinterpreted as a final product. So that's why we haven't seen more early footage and why they kind of stopped doing that. This is a huge one here showing the development of the animations and stuff. That's huge that we've got this at all. But I understand why they're doing that, because a lot of people look at things and they're like, the hands don't look right, this doesn't look right, movement doesn't look right, something's off, and people just think that that's going to be the final product of the game and the game's going to suck. You know what I mean? So I understand why they aren't. I'm eager to see more stuff like this. I love seeing the behind the scenes stuff. I know it's a work in progress. I know we're not at the final product. So for me, I want to see more stuff, but I understand why they're not doing it. So they said, we've seen how quickly unfinished work can be taken out of context, especially by larger channels or commentary platforms. So we're holding off until the gameplay is in a place that truly reflects the vision we're aiming for. So there you go. That's why we're not getting a lot of brand new stuff, or why we haven't over the last few months. But I still think this massive animation dump on us is really cool for them to put together for us to show us some of the work that's been done over the last several months. Instead, we focused on building the foundation properly. That meant locking in animations, refining our character pipeline, and getting key gameplay systems fully functional before we put anything in your hands. That work is now paying off. That's good to hear. With universal animations complete, character models approaching final form, and core mechanics being integrated into real-time systems, we've officially entered the next phase: building internal test builds and shaping the experience that you'll eventually get to play. In the coming months, here's what you can expect. New 3D model reveals for signed legends, fan favorites, and original UPW creations. In-engine gameplay clips showing how movement, grapples, and transitions feel in action. First looks at UI systems, match setup tools, and elements of the creation suite. Ongoing music and art drops from Stephen Dewar, Hal Haney, and our development team. Full transparency on how royalties and DLC contracts are structured for our talent. Well, they kind of went over that in this a little bit. Thank you for your continued support, your belief, and your patience. All of that is what is making Ultra Pro Wrestling possible. We're building something worth the wait. Stay tuned. Gimbals. So absolutely incredible stuff. I'm very happy that we've gotten this much information from them so far. I think it's great that they've been transparent, and I'm happy that they were able to drop this on us and allow me to bring this information to you guys. It's a huge deal, man. This game is I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it lives up to the hype and everything I've got hope for it, but I really love the AKI grapple system, and I think you guys will as well. As you can see, this was huge. It's a huge update. And yeah, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know in the comments down below, as I know I have a vast array of knowledge when it comes to everything Ultra Pro Wrestling. And I'm really impressed with the development I've seen. I love that they're being open and communicating with us, letting us know what's going on, where they are in development, what they're focusing on now. It's cool. I understand they're not focusing strictly on moves at this point anymore because they got the No Mercy base out of the way. I am hoping when we get to launch that there's a lot of moves that were not in No Mercy. And I'm not just speaking of just the Van Terminator or the Van Daminator, but like there's so many moves like a Hidden Blade, an F5, a Styles Clash. Like there's just been so many big name wrestlers, and you want to have all their finishers, a Buckshot Lariat. Things like that. Like, how would that even be done in Ultra Pro Wrestling? Would that be like an outside, like, springboard move kind of thing? Is there going to be a way to wake people up, like if you have a finisher like a Buckshot Lariat, to get them to stand up all groggy, that you can do your finish? How is that stuff going to work? That's the kind of thing that I'm interested in hoping that we get at launch and don't have to wait post-launch for. But again, who knows? We'll see. Either way, I'll be very excited to play this game. The Creation Suite alone and the Career Mode are going to be fantastic. As we can see, there's already over 5,000 different animations. So we're going to have thousands of moves to be able to choose from for our respective creator wrestlers or our recreations of real-life wrestlers like a Steve Austin or an Undertaker or stuff like that. Roman Reigns, John Cena's, So I think this game's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to hear more. But Dubious Ones, appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel for everything Ultra Pro Wrestling. And until the next one, Dubious Ones, I appreciate you all so much. Deuces.
Make way for Mr.